can do. For you being a Cowboy Back, what makes Coach McAdoo so special?
Um, he's a pretty good teacher. You know, he really helped me out a lot. He's patient with me. When I make mistakes, he's able to explain things, and but I'd say first and foremost, he's very patient.
Do you see that just with you, or do you see the
No,
patience with all the other guys
it's
too?
it's with everybody. You know, um, when guys make mistakes, he didn't blow up on them. He just corrects them.
Do you think part of that might be because like Cowboy Back is a hybrid and it's not like a normal traditional tight end, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, but also, it's not an excuse for us not to know the offense. We still have to know the offense. I think that's just who he is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Jake. Last March, as late as mid-March, you were a defensive end.
Right.
How far have you come in making that switch, and where do you see yourself right now as far as, being away from being a defensive end and now being a Cowboy Back?
So making the switch, how far I've come. I mean, I've always been, in my opinion, I've always been a pretty good athlete. But now this is like a different side of the ball. So I'm blocking instead of tackling. So I think it's worked out well for me.
Okay, Coach Gundy said it. I mean, they're who they are. Talking about Arkansas Pine Bluff, you guys are who you are. Prohibitive favorite. But when I look at this, there's a lot of things can get accomplished in a game like this. Forget the scoreboard. You can get better in a lot of areas. And one area, I think, is maybe stretch the Cowboy Back position. You see that happening this week, maybe?
I mean, I'd love to. Obviously, one of my first goals was to catch a touchdown pass. As a tight end, Cowboy Back. So, that might happen this week, but we'll see.
How did they come to you about the switch? Did you go to them? How did it?
They came to me. Yeah.
And what was that conversation like?
They thought I would be a good fit. We lost some guys at the Cowboy Back position. They left. They needed some bodies to fill in, and they thought I'd be a good fit.
Was there much of a thought about it for you, or were you pretty on board?
I was not on board with it right away. I was pretty hesitant. They actually asked me a couple times, and I had said no. But then this spring, Coach Dunn really pushed hard, and he said give it a shot, and so I did.
Did you look at that depth chart at defensive end? I mean, I'm not saying you can't compete with those guys, but
Right.
that's a long list there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, those guys are amazing athletes, and coming in, I didn't realize that's who I would be behind. And I was just waiting it out, just waiting, and so I think this opportunity to switch over positions has worked out.
What's the part of defense you most miss?
I miss just getting in on the sack celebration. Getting a sack or a tackle, a big hit. I love that energy. Energy after a sack or after a big hit.
What's the equivalent to that for a Cowboy Back?
Running someone over or scoring a touchdown.
Is there a part of defense you're like, yeah, I'm happy that I'm not doing that anymore?
Defense. I mean, tackling someone and going to the ground hurts. Hitting the ground all the time. That is one part of defense that the physicality. Obviously, it's physical blocking people, but when you're hitting the ground on defense, Mason Cobb over and over tackling guys, that takes a toll on you. So I think that part of it.
Out of all those defensive guys you played with, alongside, what's been maybe your most interesting part, or the part you maybe least expected about going up against them on the offensive side?
So normally we go up against linebackers and the defensive ends, Leos. So some of those linebackers can hit, So normally I wouldn't have to hit them, but now I'm blocking them, and they come downhill and they hit. And also some of our defensive ends, they fly around. So blocking them, sometimes we got to block them one-on-one, and they're tough.
You mentioned Coach Dunn really pushed it this spring.
Right.
What was his convincing argument? What finally made you say, all right, I'll do it?
A scholarship.
Okay, that'll do it. That'll do it for me too.
Yeah.
So you're no longer a walk-on, right? You're on scholarship?
Correct.
And you played offense in high school.
Yes.
I went and watched your huddle film. So was there? I imagine there's quite a big transition from playing the level you played at to playing this. But
Right.
Did you pick some of it up a little quicker than you thought you might have?
I think so. I think it probably helped. I mean, I think just the nature of it is just try to be tough and aggressive, blocking people and catch the ball.
Appreciate it.